Hello, dear students. Today I have the pleasure to have this meeting with one of our instructors, Hristo Yonchev, who will share you about his work and everything you need to know about his course. That's DA 100, Analyzing Data with Power BI. So, hello, Hristo.
Hello, everybody.
Can you please tell our students more about yourself, your experience, and how many years have you been working in the IT industry?
Hello again, everybody. My name is Hristo Yonchev. I'm working as a software architect, developer, and data analyst in the last 17 years with Microsoft technologies. I have a lot of experience as a Microsoft trainer and as a professional database developer, software developer, and data analyst with Microsoft products, reporting services, analysis services, integration services, and also data analysis with Power BI. So mainly using the last year's Power BI as a data analysis tool to extract data from different data sources and to create reports for the businesses. So that's my quick profile. That's what I'm doing in my job as a software developer and data analyst.
Okay, great. Can you tell us about this course? Is it popular nowadays? Is it hard to get? Can you explain us about the course a little bit more?
Yeah, good question. Of course, the data is always important. You know, the data is one of the most important assets of the businesses, and the data in raw format is useless for the businesses. So that's why the businesses needs to analyze the data in order to understand how their business is working. And the data is always one of the most important assets of the businesses, and that's why data analysis courses and this topic is really hot even and it will be hot the next many years, because data always will be data. Doesn't matter what other technologies are used to collect this data. Data later needs to be analyzed in order the business to understand how they are doing. So that's why this course is very important, and data analysis is always important for the businesses.
So there is a high demand for professionals all the time. It's not like a spike, since data is everything. There will be much demand for professionals from this course.
Yeah, you are correct. Exactly. There is always need for data to be analyzed. As I said, raw data is useless, and the business needs to use the data to see what happened before, what will happen in the future, to do some predictions, and to understand how they are doing, what are the trends in the future, and what kind of measures they need to do in order to improve their businesses.
Okay, great. Can you please explain us what topics this course will cover, and will there be any practical exercises?
Yeah. In this course, we have something like 13 modules, which we're going in the beginning start to explain what is the data analysis with Microsoft Power BI. And after that, we're going to one module, which is related to the preparing data, to connecting different data sources. Power BI supports many different data sources from where it can extract data, relational databases, non-relational databases, flat files, CSV, Excel files, and many others. A lot of them, more than 100 different data sources Power BI supports. And from all these data sources, relational databases like SQL Server, Oracle, Postgre, MySQL, and non-relational like Cosmos DB, Cassandra, MongoDB, and others, all these data sources, data needs to be extracted and later transformed, cleaned, and prepared to be loaded in Power BI. So this is where is our third module, cleaning, transforming, and loading data. Power BI has a lot of powerful tools to do all of these activities. different type of transformations like pivoting the data, grouping a data before the data is loaded in Power BI, filtering, and many other transformations. A lot of different transformations related to the data Power BI supports. After that we are going to discuss in this course how to design very good model in order to have these models to have nice performance, and also what are tables, relationships between them, one-to-many, many-to-many relationships, and how they are designed in Power BI. After that is one of the most important modules, creating measures with data analysis expressions, so-called DAX in Power BI. So we're going to see different type of measures, time intelligence functions, and what are most of the important functions in Power BI, mainly calculate, filter, and as we discuss, time intelligence functions. After that, we're going to discuss about optimizing model performance, what is important to consider, where to load the data from the data source, and when not to load, but just to query the data from the remote data source, when the data should stay in the data source, and when the data should be loaded in Power BI. This is about module 6. Later, we're going to start with the most important part, probably visualizing the data in reports in Power BI. We're going to discuss different type of reports which exist in Power BI, different visuals, and how we're going to see how it is very easy in Power BI to create a lot of report pages, different type of reports based on the data, on the model that you just prepared previously, the previous modules. After that, we're going to discuss Power BI service, where you can create dashboards, single page canvas reports with information which can be shared between different business users using Power BI service. So it's a module about Power BI service. Of course, during these modules, there was 2, creating reports and creating dashboards. We're going to see how to see all these reports in different devices, mobile devices, in the Power BI service web application, and also in Power BI desktop. Right after that, we're going to discuss reports, which so-called paginated reports, which are reports which should show data which is prepared for printing multi-pages reports. Sometimes reports contains data with hundreds of pages. These data need to be exported to PDF, Word, or Excel files, for example, and later eventually printed. So these are so-called paginated reports, which will be discussed very quickly, very shortly, to see what is the difference between the paginated reports and Power BI reports. After that, we continue with the advanced analytics, some questions and analysis, some predictions, some other visuals like finding outliers, and what are all other advanced analytics in Power BI, how Power BI can detect and find some useful information from the data. So this is part of the advanced analytics, also predictions and other type of more advanced analytics. After that, we will continue with managing workspaces in Power BI service, where the users can create different type of assets, reports, dashboards, data sets in Power BI service, and share these reports, assets with other users to work together, or just to share the information in the reports with other business users. Later, we're going to discuss how to manage the data sets. These are the assets which contains the data itself. So for most of the reports, you are going to load the data in Power BI, and the data is stored in the data sets. So this is where you configure everything related to the data set, how often the data is loaded there, when there is a new data, the so-called incremental updates, and other things related to the data sets, how to manage data sets which contains millions, billions of rows, big data, and all that is considered in module 12. And of course, data is important, but security is also important. In the last module, we're going to discuss row-level security, how one user can see only the data that they needs to see, not all of the data, and how we are going to also restrict who can see what from the data and the reports. This is the last module, which we are going to cover in this course. So as you see, a lot of topics, very interesting, everything which is important for the data analyst, how to connect to different data sources, transform the data, create very performant data models, and later create reports, dashboards, and different type of advanced analytics and reports. And of course, also very important is the security. All these topics are covered in this course.
Amazing. That sounds rather interesting. With all those topics, what skills should potential students have? Like, are there any prerequisites to join this course? What's your opinion?
To be a good data analyst and to have the most of benefits of this course, you need to have some experience with data visualization products and services, like Power BI, but it can be others like Tableau, like reporting services and other data visualization products, maybe even with Excel. If that Excel was used for data analysis, all of this will help better to understand and to gain more from the course material. So also you should have a little bit understanding of both on-premises and cloud-based data repositories, mainly to differentiate when the data comes from on-premises local data centers and when the data comes from cloud data source, cloud-based data repositories like Azure SQL database, Oracle in the cloud, and others. So that's also requirements. And it's good to have some understanding, not a requirement exactly, but good understanding of Azure data services. From time to time, they are mentioned, but we're going to mention most of the Azure data services, cloud data services, which are related to the data store and data management. So good experience with Microsoft Excel and understanding what are databases, relational modeling is beneficial, not a requirement, but beneficial. So these are a kind of prerequisites about this course.
Okay. So in your personal point of view, why should our students apply for this course? What are the core benefits? What will they get after they complete this course?
That's a good question. Of course, if you like to work with data and you wish to make nice visualization of the data and stories based on the data, you should, and help the businesses to understand their data, you should go to this course from my point of view. And most important is that data, as I said, will always be one of the most important assets of the businesses, and data always needs to be analyzed. So there is high demand for this kind of jobs, and this is one of the things why you should teach. Why should you work this course? And that's why we teach this course.
Yeah. Can you please tell us, is this course more exercise oriented or is it theory based? What can you tell us about the core course itself?
Yeah. So after every module in this course, we have laboratories, exercises. So almost after every module, we have one lab, usually 45 up to 1 hour, sometimes 1 hour and a half laboratory exercise where the students can try everything that we discussed the previous 1 or 2 hours. So it is WAP-oriented, exercise-oriented course. So the students will have something like 12 or 13, up to, I think, even more exercises. And they will be something like 12, 13 hours. So everything will be, everything that we are going to discuss, the students will try to implement it, and together with the instructor, they will complete all the tasks related to the course. So that's the idea. It's a practical-oriented, practical course. There is a practitioner approach here. So that's what the students needs to know, that they will try everything. It's not just the lectures. It's a lecture, and after almost every lecture, there is a laboratory where the students will try everything with Power BI and Power BI service.
Yes, so basically you explain the theory, and after the theory part, there is hands-on labs, and the students can try out what they have learned during the class.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, your system, amazing. Can you tell us about the exam? What kind of exam? Is it a practical exam? Is it a multiple choice question exam?
Yeah, about certification exam, Microsoft has one exam now. The current exam is called PL 300 from the Power Platform Data Analysis with the Power Platform 300. So for this exam, there is something like 50, 60 questions. Some of them are single answers, some of them are multiple answers. So they are closed questions, which means that the users need just to select one or more correct answers for the question. They don't need to write any like DAX expressions or other queries or to prepare some reports. But the exam will try to find if they know the theory and if they have enough practice. So the exam is not only asking about theory, but it will try to find if the students know how to use Power BI really well. So that's important for the exam. And there is different areas like preparing the data with weights 20-25%, modeling the data, visualizing the data with the different visualizations like bar chart, column charts, line charts, and others, which so many exist in Power BI, hundreds of them. Analyzing the data and deploy and maintain deliverables in Power BI service. So these are the topics which are covered in this exam. Around 50, 60 questions. And the exam is fully covered by this course.
Okay. Well, let's say that our students have just completed the course, and they have successfully got the certificate from the exam. What kind of job position should they be looking for? What should their next steps be? You have been a professional, and you have been around a lot. So can you give us your opinion on this?
This course, yeah, good question. This course prepare the professionals for data analyst role. There is different roles in the let's say data oriented IT jobs. So this course is preparing them for data analyst, this special role, where as you see, the professionals are responsible to preparing the data, modeling, visualizing the data with simple or complex analysis. So that's what they are prepared for, data analyst. There is always need for this job. So this is what they are prepared. There is other related roles, but they are not covered in for this course, like database administrators, data engineers, and others. So they can later learn other courses from New Horizons and also be prepared for more, let's say, wide, broad type of jobs. But this course is about a data analyst. It is enough complexity, let's say, for this type of jobs. Data analyst is not, let's say, it's very interesting job, but it has its complexity. So sometimes to be a data analyst is easy, sometimes it's not so easy task, but you need to be prepared. And that's why it's this course, to be prepared for this job, data analyst.
Okay, great. Well, one of our most asked questions is, will there be homeworks? We will be giving our students homeworks.
Yeah, after some of the sessions, if there is enough time between the sessions, the students will have homeworks. So these homeworks will try to harden their knowledge. So that's the idea of these homeworks. If there is enough time, they will have, and finally they will have a project, which can be optional, can be, but if they completed it, we're going to check how it was completed, and we're going to give them a feedback if everything was implemented as a professional data analyst should implement it.
Okay, that's great. So basically, if we can recap, when they finish and get the certificate from the exam, they can basically put it in their CVs and try looking for a job, because as I understand, the most important thing in your opinion is that they need to work. They need to go and grind and see how the data is managed.
Yeah.
Do they need to learn something else before applying for a job, or that's completely enough for starters? I mean, for a junior position, maybe.
Yeah, of course, working more and more is always good. So more is better in this case, of course. So, but I think this course and the references that we are going to give in this course, like additional materials, links, books, and others, will be more than enough to apply for a data analyst job as a professional data analyst. So this course and the related materials that we're going to share with the students are more than enough for them to apply for such kind of jobs.
Okay, well, I think that we answered most of our questions. I'm very grateful for you having a talk with us and giving information to our students. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
It was a real pleasure talking to you. And let's hope we see you with students soon.
Yeah, let's hope. See you soon.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.